Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at Nike, ticker symbol NKE. We're going to go ahead and see if Nike is undervalued or oversold. We're going to do some advanced charting. We're going to also look at what institutions and hedge funds are doing. And I thank my past self for charting this out. Apologies. Wow. Don't know when I drew this out, but holy cow. This goes all the way back to 2007. Wow. Over a decade. Wow. Back in this channel. Okay. Very cool. Okay. So we'll come back to this. We'll look at some Fibonacci arcs. We'll see where we can see a turnaround. Let's just get back to this really quick. So Nike has been on a tremendous downturn, trading at a once 179, now down to $72. Um, I mean, the strength is at 34. It's with the Bears. Momentum is absurdly low. Money flow looks like it's heading out. Relative momentum indicator is scraping the bottom of the ocean there. So a lot of things going on. Nike is in the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500. So if you've owned the individual stock Nike, you've been pretty badly bruised. But if you own the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones Industrial Average, you're okay because there's a handful of other stocks. Specifically with the S&P 500, there's 499 other stocks to balance out the overall average. So, uh, I mean, look at the sales here, pretty good. We can see stagnation happening right here. Earnings per share up and to the right, pretty good. I mean, everything looks really decent from a first glance. Gross margin 45%. That's fantastic. They're profitable. EPS past 5 years, sales past 5 years, positive. That's good. They are somewhat resilient. Quick ratio over one. That's fantastic. They do have some debt. They're paying it off, or not. They're addressing it. Price earnings at 19, meaning this is still kind of expensive. 15 is kind of the sweet spot, so that's kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and run my calculation to see what the potential stock price could be. I only count stocks market cap if it's over 1 billion. Nike is 109 billion, 530 million. One more zero, brother. One more zero. All right. They are profitable at 5 billion, 700 million. And they do have sales of 51 billion, 370 million. All right, cash on hand. Let's go ahead and see what we got here, baby. Cash. Okay, before we get there, Q1 of this year they did 12.4 billion. Last year they did 12.3. Q2 looks like they did 12.6 billion. Last year they did 12.8 billion. Maybe that's where we're seeing a lot of this nervous price action from big money. All right, back to our calculation here. They have 11. They have the most cash on hand than they've ever had. Well, no, back in Q3 of 2022, they had 11.8 billion. Almost record high cash. So they do have cash of 11 billion, 582 million. Total debt 10 billion, 469 million. Okay. Really quickly, total assets 38.1 billion, total liabilities 23.6 billion. Assets dwarf liability is about 1.5, 1.7 to 1. So every liability they have 1.7 assets. That's fine. I mean, this is an apparel company. The executive chairman received options, sold some. He sold some and got options. Robert Swan purchased at 77, 226,000. Now that's a great buy. Matt Freed is the CFO. He sold a good chunk. Mark Parker again sold some, got some options. Overall, no real red flags here in terms of buying and selling. You know, it looks like a lot of options, exercising and whatnot. So, that's where we're at with insider buying and selling. We're going back up to look at what the potential stock price could be. So the shares outstanding are 1,230,000,000. Okay. And just a heads up, this calculation does not really account for dividend paying stocks because Nike is giving some of their cash to shareholders. So this calculation will be on the higher side, just a heads up. So this is saying $136 stock price. Target analysts have targets of $90. I mean, the stock has been at 130 before. So I think what we could be seeing is the market cap increasing due to institutions and hedge funds piling in. We're going to find out. But again, we also do not account for the cash that the company is giving away. So, in the method of a dividend, they're not just giving cash away. So institutions own 67.4%. That is old data. New data shows that institutions actually own 71.02%. So about less than a 4% increase. So institutions and hedge funds are buying. We do see this long-term downtrend here. Let's see what Vanguard and BlackRock's doing. So Vanguard decreased slightly, less than 1%, and BlackRock added 5%. I mean, no real major action there. So that's pretty good. Overall, my projection says Nike could be going up. However, the trend is your friend until the end, and it does not look like the end is near at the moment. So what I do like is the advanced charting. So I did chart this out a long time ago. I'm guessing I charted this out back in end of 2020 because this was my last pattern potentially. So thinking of it as layers, like I have my channel here, and then a big bull flag here, and bloop. So, quick water break. This perfectly tested and fell below this long-term channel. So I want to see at least $65 from Nike. And what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can hit this on the nose. So the low of 60, we'll do there. And here's 179.10. Okay, I'm just going to have to make some quick adjustments. Uno momento, por favor. So this is 60 flat, and this is 179.10. Okay. We can see, well, it's really hard to see right here. Let me just kind of remove channel. Okay, that's a lot better. It's not really a clear respect that I typically like to see. I mean, that's a clear signal right there, but I mean, this doesn't really give me high confidence. Let's remove this. Remove drawing. Let's go down to this cycle low here. 179.10. That's much better. And let me just low 50.35. Okay. All right. Now that cycle low, a lot more respect, perfect support, almost perfect support, perfect resistance, came up and kissed it and went back down. Perfect support right here, tapped it. perfect support, perfect resistance, perfect resistance, perfect support here, great support, perfect resistance, perfect support. Look at that. Perfect resistance and the fail through. So the reason I wanted to establish a high, I wanted to establish a Fibonacci arc so we could, that was looking at the price up. So candles are respecting this Fibonacci pattern when it is correct. So what we're going to attempt to do now, and this is an attempt, we're going to see if we can capture the absolute bottom of Nike. And typically the stock has always stayed at the bottom of this channel and the stock has never fallen through this channel. So we're gonna go under the assumption that the stock is gonna bottom likely around here. So we're gonna go to 179.10 and our low is gonna be, I'm looking for perfect resistances and supports, potentially right here. I think 67 is our going to be Nike's potential all-time low. And let me go ahead and change colors so we can easily identify. Okay. So looking at where the candlesticks, these red and green moves of the stock is candlesticks. So looking at our outer candlesticks here, perfect resistance right there, perfect support, good support, perfect resistance, stock comes down, perfect resistance, great support, perfect support on this candle right here, great support, great support, great support, falls through, great, right here, this is perfect resistance, just kiss the line, this tests the line again, and now we're kind of projecting that the all-time low is going to be 70 at 70 right here. It's kind of fade and then potentially reverse. So I think Nike at 67 in October, November, that's where we want to look. And I'm just basing that off of the Fibonacci candles respecting this Fibonacci arc on the downside. So 67, I mean, not terrible. If we, so right here, this gold line, it might be hard for you guys to see. You can kind of see this line right here. This is our 200 SMA on the monthly. If we take this out over the next July or August, September, October, over the next 4 months, I think it might get to the 67 area where the stock could tap it. So just to, I mean, I'm just trying to think of potential scenarios. So there's that. Overall, I think this, along with Lululemon, if you've been following Lululemon, similar genre. It's athleisure wear for women, I think. Great margins, great sales. They're just killing it, honestly. But their stock is going through a tumultuous time. I've been adding to that one. I think I'm gonna start adding to Nike very, very slowly here. But that's all I got for you guys. I think this one gets to 67 potentially over the next few months. You can see it's had a pretty rapid decline, and this beautiful long-term channel since 2007. I mean, this is a prime time to add, really, if you have a 5, 10, 15 plus year horizon. But if you don't want to invest in one single stock, consider the S&P 500 so you are diversified. That is the key to safety and risk, managing risk. So thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, consider subscribing, leave a comment, thumbs up, thumbs down. Engagement helps YouTube expand my content to others by showing engagement. So I appreciate you. Have a great day. Adios.